Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to Premier League predictions. We've got some big games coming and it's the penultimate week. Next week is the final week of Premier League predictions. So let's get loads of good support in here today, guys. The biggest like target ever, 900 likes. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already, guys, and please do make sure to subscribe. Some massive games coming, and make sure to get your predictions in. Like I say, thank you so much for your support. I'm joined by Sophie. How you doing?
Yeah, good, but as the season draws to an end, I get more and more sad. I know, but we'll have loads of content coming out after the season's finished. But yeah, do make sure to enjoy while we've still got the season here, but not long left. Let's start with the London derby, Sophie. Tottenham Hotspur versus Brentford. This one, I'm not sure, you know. Brentford's going away to Spurs. I mean, they've just beaten West Ham. Yeah. That's not a bad result. You know, they picked up 3 points. Yeah,
how high can they finish this season? You know, they could still get some more points in these final couple of weeks. Tottenham Hotspur, though, I backed them to lose 2-1 at Villa, and they did. They got a late goal through Harry Kane. They did score after that, but it was offside. I find it quite easy going against Tottenham in these predictions now, and half of the time it works for me. I don't expect Tottenham to lose every single game, but I do feel like more often than not when I back them to lose, it comes true. Yeah. So I think Brentford's are going to be a bit more of a tougher nut to break down out of these two sides. I just think Brentford are more solid, better continuity. There's certainly an identity with Brentford, whereas Tottenham are just blowing in the wind, and I think there's a real risk that they can miss out on European football this season. I'm going to go Tottenham 0, Brentford 1.
Okay, I'm going to say 2-1 Brentford. I think similar thing with the Villa game. Brentford probably go 2-0 up, and then probably Harry Kane as well, again with the consolation goal, but I don't see Spurs getting anything from this. I did back them to get a draw at the weekend, they didn't do that, and I feel like they're going to lose again against Brentford, so 2-1.
2-1, there you go. Right, we'll move down to the South Coast, Sophie, as we've got AFC Bournemouth versus Manchester United. We both didn't back Man United to win last time, but they did beat Wolves, and they just look a little bit closer to securing a top 4 place. But one thing I will say is, I think Manchester United at home are a better team than they are away from home. Remember, last time out they had been losing to Brighton, to West Ham, and I think coming away to Bournemouth is going to be a tricky game for Manchester United. I do think AFC Bournemouth is actually a very difficult matchup. Bournemouth, it's an interesting one. AFC Bournemouth have crossed the line now. They did just lose to Palace, but I still don't think you could take them lightly now that they are staying up. Yep. I think Bournemouth will want to still end the season with a bit of a flurry. They've had a good season, and there should be a positive mindset at the Vitality and a feeling that they could get something from this game. So I'll sit on the fence and say Manchester United's away troubles continue. I'll go for a 1-1 draw.
I feel like I'm going to have to back United this week. I do think it's going to be quite a tight game, as I think a lot of people have underestimated Bournemouth. And if United go into this and think it's going to be an easy win, I think then they'll either lose or they'll draw. I think they've got to take Bournemouth seriously. But I do see United coming away with the 3 points. So 2-1 Man United. 2-1
United, fair enough. Okay, next up it's another London derby. It's West versus South as Fulham take on Crystal Palace. Two sides that have been pulling out some good results lately. Fulham, they relegated Southampton with a win down on the South Coast, and Crystal Palace beat the other side from the South Coast, AFC Bournemouth at home. I think both sides are showing that they can score goals. There's that freedom that they can play with no pressure, because I don't think there's a lot to play for now. Don't think either of these two can make Europe, and they're not obviously going down. I expect a good game, and once again I'll sit on the fence. Fulham 2, Crystal Palace 2.
For me, I feel like this one could actually go either way. 1-0 either way for me, and I'm going to give it to Fulham. I just feel like being at home, they're going to have slight advantage, and they've just impressed me this season, to be honest, week in, week out. They're getting some good results. Palace, since Roy Hodgson came in, they've been a much better team, and they've stayed up. That's why he came in, and he's done a good job. So I do feel a little bit harsh going against them, but for me, Fulham win 1-0.
1-0. Okay, this is a really interesting matchup, this one, Sophie. Liverpool versus Aston Villa. Liverpool trying to get a top 4 place this season. Can they do it? Up against Aston Villa, who are trying to just wrap up any kind of European football this season. I do think Villa have still got a good chance. Got some difficult fixtures coming, and Villa might need to get something from this game. I think going for Villa recently has been working, but I do fancy Villa more at home, and going away to Liverpool is certainly going to be difficult. But I think Villa could maybe get a draw out of this one. I think I might sit on the fence again. Although Liverpool have been ending the season pretty well, I think Villa, if they come and stick to a game plan, Unai Emery's been doing fantastic this season, and I think Villa might be able to walk away with a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, again, for me, this game could really go either way. I don't think it'd be a massive upset if Villa went to Anfield and came away with the 3 points. However, I don't see it happening. I do think there could be quite a few goals in this game. I'm tempted to say a draw as well. I don't think I can go against either team, so 2-2 for me.
2-2. Interesting. We're both going for a draw on that one. Let us know your predictions for Liverpool versus Aston Villa. Next up, go down to the West Midlands. It's Wolves versus Everton. Everton brought back down to earth a little bit after that win against Brighton by losing 3-0 to Man City. Not to say that that's any disgrace, because Man City are ready to win the league now. But it just means Everton have still got to get that extra win somewhere. I've said 35 points to survive this season, so that means Everton need to just win one of their final 2 games. And they've got Wolves away and Bournemouth at home. I think Everton might be able to pick 1 win out here, or maybe 2 draws could be enough. Wolves haven't got anything to play for. They've done well to stay up this season, but I don't think you can take them lightly now that they've not really got much to play for. I think the manager's done a fantastic job there. I think this could be another draw. I feel like I'm going for a lot of draws today, but I think Everton have got the capability to win this. We saw what they could do against Brighton and have picked out good wins here and there. I really don't think they can afford to lose this, otherwise they could be going into the final week in that bottom 3, which means it's out of their hands. So I'll go for a draw. I'm going to go down the middle and say Wolves 2, Everton 2.
Okay, I do feel like Everton won't really take that Man City defeat as too much of a hit, to be honest. It could have been more, but it's just one of them when you come up against Man City. I do feel like going into this, Everton really do need to get a point, and I feel like they'll set up for the draw. I'm going to have to sit on the fence as well. 1-1. 1-1,
okay. We're going very draw heavy today. Next up to the City Ground, Nottingham Forest take on Arsenal. I backed Forest to get 2-2 against Chelsea, and they went and did that. The amount of people giving me abuse every time I give Forest a draw, and they actually did get a draw.
Well, 1.
Yeah, away from home as well. You know, that's not easy. But they're back at home now. But this is an interesting one because they're back at home, which is Nottingham Forest's strong suit. But they're playing Arsenal. But it comes with a bit of a twist. Arsenal have just lost 3-0 to Brighton. And if Arsenal don't win this game, that's the title to Man City. And it'd be incredible to see Nottingham Forest be the team that crowns Manchester City. I've said 35 points to survive this season. Nottingham Forest are on 34. I think they just need to get 1 more draw from the final 2 games. 34 could be enough, but I think they're running the risk of letting it go all the way to the wire if they try and just get over the line with 34. This is really interesting, isn't it? Arsenal, I don't think they actually have a great record when they come to the City Ground. I remember over the last couple of years they've lost here in the FA Cup on a couple of occasions. They've certainly got better quality. I don't think anyone's going to deny that. They've got better quality than Nottingham Forest, but can they pick themselves up and dust themselves down going away to a Forest team that have been improving and are at home? Do you know what? I will go for Arsenal. I'm going to go against Forest on this occasion. I do still stand by them staying up, but I do think Arsenal will just push the title race a little bit further. They'll kick the can down the road for a little bit longer. I'll go Nottingham Forest 1, Arsenal 2.
I feel like this game is really going to be a testament of whether Arsenal have still got the fight. I do feel like with their form dipping past couple of weeks, it has just gifted Man City the title. Obviously Man City needed to get the results as well, but for me, I feel like Arsenal have gifted it to them. So it'd be interesting to see if they will fight back this weekend at Forest. I'm going to throw a bit of a curveball in there. They don't get anything at the City Ground. Forest win 2-1. Change roles today.
You're going for Forest. What is this?
So it won't happen.
She's a Forest fan. There you go. Nottingham Forest 2, Arsenal 1. I mean, that would definitely keep Forest up and definitely hand the title to Man City if it wasn't already theirs, of course. But that's incredible. There you go. We're going either way at the City Ground. Do get your predictions in for that one. We'll move on to another game which certainly involves a team in a relegation dogfight. We're going to West Ham United versus Leeds United. West Ham actually not not mathematically safe yet, but I think things would have to go drastically wrong for them to go down. So I think they're pretty much on the beach. But Leeds United are certainly not on the beach. They're in the middle of the sea, and they need to get to the shore because they could be drowning this season.
Stranded.
They could be going down to the Championship. Let's talk about their game against Newcastle. They got a 2-2 draw. It went back and forth, but there was a point where they were 1-0 up and they missed a penalty, and you just think, what if?
Yeah.
I think Leeds United are showing some fight though under Sam Allardyce. They've lost 2-1 to Man City, they've drawn with Newcastle, and this is maybe the easiest fixture they've had yet. I think they might get a draw. I just feel like West Ham aren't going to roll over, but I don't think Leeds United can afford to lose, so I think it's going to be a real nail-biting one. 1-1.
Yeah, I agree with you. Exactly the same. I feel like it's going to be 1-1. Which, do you think that benefits both teams? I think West Ham more than Leeds, to be honest. Leeds definitely need a win, but I don't see it happening. So, yeah, I'm sitting on the fence as well, 1-1.
1-1, we're both going for 1-1. Right, 3 games to go. Let's go to Brighton, who take on Southampton. Brighton, I mean, they're such a strange team, aren't they?
Yeah,
I mean, most of the time, absolutely brilliant, but some unusual results in there as well every now and then. Could you think of any weirder results than losing at home to Everton 5-1, then beating Arsenal away 3-0? I don't know, it depends what Brighton team you get turned up, but we do know that Southampton are relegated, so surely Southampton don't get anything here. It'd be a bit of a surprise if they got a draw, I think. I'll go Brighton, and I'll go comfortable. I'll go Brighton, win this game 3-0.
You never know though, when teams have been relegated, sometimes they come out with like a great result and you just think, where was that a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah.
I don't see that happening though. I feel like Brighton against Arsenal, they looked very, very good. I agree, it depends what Brighton team turns up, as they've been very topsy-turvy this season. I am going to back them to win though, and I think it'll be another comfortable one. But 2-0 to Brighton. 2-0
to Brighton. Okay, 2 games left. We'll go to the Etihad. Now, as we said, if Arsenal do beat Nottingham Forest, then it'll be back over to Manchester City to wrap up the title at home against Chelsea. Imagine if Chelsea turn up for this one and just delay Man City winning the league. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Frank Lampard's been really struggling. They have picked up 4 points in their last 2 games, but it was against Bournemouth and Forest, and if you look at the big picture, Chelsea are just not doing very well. I think the problem for Chelsea is I don't see an out-and-out goal scorer there. I know they've got loads of problems, but when you don't have that focal point, that's something that can really carry you even when you're not very good. And Sterling got 2 goals, but I don't think they've got any player that's got 10 goals this season,
no, I don't think
which is really poor.
Yeah.
Up against Man City, and you've got to go for Man City. 100%. And I think you've got to go heavy. Man City 5-0.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, I don't know about that. Because they only just beat Everton 3-0, so...
No, but Chelsea are worse than Everton at the moment.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm going to say another 3-0 Man City win. I don't see Chelsea getting anything from this game. There's a lot of issues at Chelsea that they need to sort out, and I don't think they're going to be able to do it in one summer, to be honest. Man City, the league's theirs. I think the league's over. 3-0.
3-0. Okay. The final game on Monday night, it's Newcastle United versus Leicester City. It's certainly a big, big game. Leicester could be relegated if they lose this, and it could depend on other results. Newcastle United are certainly in the battle for the top 4 this season, and as we say, Leicester City trying to stay up. So I think this is one of the better games this weekend because there's a lot to play for both teams. Newcastle United dropped points against Leeds. I don't know if you saw the Leeds fan ran on and confronted Eddie Howe. That was a bit unusual.
No, I didn't see that.
But yeah, glad he's all right. But Newcastle United dropping points. They'll need to try and get a win here if they want to try and cement that top 4 finish. Leicester City, I don't know. I just find it an anomaly, Leicester City going down. I just find it unusual because of the quality that they've got. I'm just surprised they've not been able to show more fight this season.
I know, it's been a weird one.
Do Leicester get anything from this one? I don't think they do. I think Newcastle United at home, the crowd's going to be roaring them on. I think Newcastle United win this game 2-0.
Yeah, for me, Newcastle United win this. Leicester, I agree, very, very strange season. Didn't see them going down at all. I'm saying that like they're definitely relegated, but it's looking likely. Yeah, Newcastle United win for me. I'll say 1-0 though. I won't see it being like a massive defeat, heavy defeat. I feel it could be a fairly close game, but with Newcastle United in pretty much complete control of possession, and then just nicking the 1 goal and that being it. But it's 3 points and they move on.
There you go, both going for the Geordies for our final one. Do make sure to get your predictions down below. As I always say, of course, make sure to drop a like and do make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. We're closing in on 30,000 subscribers. Obviously, next week is the final week, so don't miss that one. We will see you all in the next one. Peace out.